Welcome back to Arts Weekly. Joining me is Oliver Hoffmann and Gregor Roth. They are here to discuss the BFA exhibition at the Allen County Public Library. Good to see you both on the show.
Thank you, Sean.
Before we talk about the exhibition, just want to talk a little bit about your backgrounds. We'll start with you, Oliver. You have an impressive background as a professional creative director, working for some major agencies. And what kind of things do you teach here at IPFW, and what kind of work have you done? And we'll start with that.
Well, at IPFW, I'm a faculty adjunct. I'm working with the senior thesis this semester, and so those are students that come out of graphic design, photography, and even animation programs, and they're preparing their graduate exhibit. Personally, my background is I trained as a graphic designer, but I have worked professionally for more than 20 years in advertising, and mostly around larger Detroit agencies, Campbell Mithun Esty, Foot Cone Belding, BBDO, and Young and Rubicam is where I got my start. Well,
those are some pretty big names in the business. So yeah. So it's really a great opportunity to have our students learn from you. So we have the BFA exhibit, the senior BFA exhibit, at the Allen County Public Library through May 8th. Tell us a little bit about this exhibit. What does it feature?
Well, the exhibit showcases one specific project for each student. So in that sense, it's unique. Some of the graduate exhibits I've been involved with in the past would sort of be spectrum exhibits, so kind of like a graduating portfolio. This exhibit is unique in that each student has had 2 semesters to prepare a single kind of comprehensive display that focuses on some subject of personal interest. So the range is quite broad, and I think that's one of the things that really makes the show so interesting. There's probably something that would appeal to almost any kind of interest, from some very personal expressions, some sort of like, I would say at the end of the spectrum of very artistic, personal, some in many cases social commentary expressions, all the way to some very pragmatic and commercial kind of aspirations. So some of them are almost like the launch of a business in that single display.
Oh wow! So it's really quite the gamut. Gregor, you're one of the students featured in the exhibit. Tell us a little bit about your work and where you're coming from with that.
I am putting together a genocide awareness piece where I want to focus on the genocide atrocities that have been going on in humanity. I really started out from the 1930s to the modern day era, and what I want to do is make more people in my own society aware of what is going on in the world. And so I've put together this exhibit that features poem, illustration, and a 3D sculpture that tries to, in a single cohesive exhibit, bring this awareness to the fore.
And what is the name of your exhibit?
It's called
no, I know it. Actually, that was a trick question.
That was a trick question.
Faces, I Am the Millions
Faceless,
Dead.
I Am the Millions Dead.
Right.
Yes.
It's actually quite powerful, and I've seen some of it already.
Thank you.
So, and I think we're going to have some up on the screen. So, what do you hope to have the viewer get from? What kind of action do you hope to provoke?
Probably the bare bones minimum is just to have people think. I want to confront the viewer with a multitude of ways to look and to understand about the atrocity of genocide. And I know for me, as an artist, visual is always more impactful than the written word, but I also have it written out in a poem, and I have it tangible. So I just want the people, at the very least, to walk away thinking, wow, this is going on now. This has gone on in our recent history. And it's something that I can take with me and just chew on the rest of the evening.
Oliver, you know, and that's a very, very powerful exhibit that Gregor's talking about. Do you think, in a sense, because we live in such a highly imagistic culture, you know, back in the day there were only 3 channels. Now there's, I don't know how many, you know, hundreds. And are there so many images coming at us that, to a certain extent, we've become inured to even powerful ones, like Holocaust images and really, really powerful ones that you think would make us change our ways, but we kind of get on with our lives. How do you deal with that as a designer? How does your image break through all the other images and messages out there?
Well, that's certainly the challenge. Whether you're a commercial artist or whether you're a fine artist, whether you're making a personal statement or whether you're speaking on behalf of a corporate client, which is kind of the work of the advertising artist, essentially graphic design students, communication students, at their core, they have to be tremendous consumers of popular culture. I mean, you can't. If you've tried, I mean, I had to do this in a previous job. You can't easily communicate in a culture that you're not, immersed in, that you don't understand the language. So one of the things you asked Gregor earlier that I think is interesting, because it's very true both on the commercial and the fine art side, is what is the takeaway? That is the thing that all of the students in this exhibit had to ask themselves through the course of their preparation. What do you want the viewer to take away? Because without that singular focus, without the ability to say, this is my message, you inevitably will dilute your message and it'll be lost in the clutter that we're all well aware of. The media clutter, the clutter of the outside world, the messaging landscape. I mean, it's difficult, and the only way to break through, as you say, is to really bring some focus. You have to be able to answer that question for yourself from the very beginning. What is my message? What is my takeaway?
You have to be very, very focused. Gregor, how many other students, roughly speaking, are in this exhibit?
I believe we have 21.
21 total.
That sounds about right.
Right, and that's down at the Allen County Public Library. They have a beautiful gallery down there, quite a large space.
It's very large. I think we were all amazed at just how large it really was. Once we got in there and we set up our exhibits, we saw how large it was,
Now this is a juried, is it called a juried exhibit?
Yes.
Gregor, what does that mean to have a juried exhibit?
Well, we have an independent juror coming in from the Fashion Institute of New York, and she's going to look at it. As far as I understand, she's going to study every exhibit and render an opinion on it. And I think in terms of what communicates, what has achieved the goals of the graphics arts or photography or animation, and based on those, make an award.
I see. So, yes. So there'll be a winner.
I believe there's a winner
at the end of the day. Oliver, getting back to the subject we were just talking about, a lot of people see design and advertising and marketing as, well, it's a very highly persuasive. Sometimes maybe persuading us to buy things that we didn't know we needed. Now, I know that I'm particularly I'm susceptible to Sweetwater catalogs and Apple commercials.
Right.
They just make me want to buy stuff. But but seriously, sometimes I think advertising contributes to sort of a social amnesia in a sense. I remember opening up a newspaper, this was back maybe 10 or 15 years ago when the war was going on in Liberia, one of the various different civil wars going on in West Africa, and it was basically a war at that time between tribes that were fighting over the diamond trade, what we now know of as the blood diamond trade. And everybody that bought a diamond was essentially funding violence. And when I opened up the paper, I saw an article about the latest atrocity in Liberia. Right next to it, I saw a diamond advertisement. And I thought, either this is like some sort of sick joke, or people are not always aware, where those sneakers are, where those sneakers come from that they're wearing, or where that handheld device is. How do you answer those critics that say that it's sort of manipulative and plays on our desires?
Well, I'm not sure I'm ultimately qualified to defend the entire advertising profession, but I can tell you this, that some of the popular sort of notions of subliminal seduction are really vastly overrated. I mean, as I've said, I've spent 20-some years in large agencies. I've never seen anywhere near the sophistication that's alleged in books like Subliminal Seduction and some of the kind of old, those conspiracy theories. I wish we were that sophisticated. We'd probably be a lot more effective. But I would say, truthfully, my view of both what I do in advertising and what we're training visual communication and design students to do at IPFW is to become effective communicators, and that's kind of a neutral training. You can use that for good, you can use that for evil. It's a bit like politics, you know, and the best in their skills, the best in their ability to really, you know, create powerful, moving ideas, can do really wonderful, you know, effective, powerful social things, sometimes political things. Some of them will do, you know, will be influential, you know, for commercial purposes, and in some cases for things that are not effective. So ultimately, I believe the skill, the trade is neutral. You know,
right.
It'd be difficult to sort of put that baggage. It's, you know, but I think that the best of our students, and I think you see that in this exhibit, have found very interesting variety of channels to take these skills they've learned as part of the you know, the
yes.
VCD curriculum, and they've channeled them to subjects as diverse as, you know, religious expression, you know, personal, you know, social cause expression, some really interesting craft work. You know, there's some automotive pinstriping and things showcased in the exhibit. The diversity of this program is as wide as the interest of those students.
Well, and that runs through May 8th at the Allen County Public Library. That's all the time we have now. Thank you both for coming on the show, and Gregor, congratulations on your upcoming graduation, and Oliver, congratulations for you as well for winning, I think, 6 Addy Awards here in Fort Wayne. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
For more information about the BFA Design Exhibition, please visit ipfw.edu/VPA or call 481-6709. If you didn't catch us on PBS on Sundays, you can check us out on the internet. Arts Weekly can be seen on YouTube and Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter. As always, Arts Weekly can be seen Tuesday through Thursday on College Access Television. I'm Chuck O'Connor. Thanks for tuning in to Arts Weekly. Join me next week with guests Paul Seifert and Lisa Vetter from the Art Farm, and John O'Connell and Mark Delancey from the IPFW Department of Theater.